acting foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing the mic just like I ran the jewels. And y'all gonna get done up front, knowing that kid with an attitude. But you can't really blame this motherfucker, it's doing what he had to do. I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of carpets. All about that RIP for all of my Jesus gone departed. All about that business, what I started, I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Know that I'm about it. Want a man I can bring the drama, but it ain't by chance I'm fucking rapping. You don't really want a problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rapping like homie starving. Yeah, y'all gotta ask who the man is. Hope I'm gonna be like, beg your pardon. Homie, I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we're about that. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Oh, yes, we do own the night, and we own the daytime, too, especially today, boys. It is the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here over, well, it's that side now. It is Billy Mack at Mack's Baseball Academy, the newbie, Jamie Thompson. Then we have Michael McKenzie and the prodigy himself. It is Tristan Reynolds down at the bottom of your screen. Guys, so much to talk about today, and it all starts with the OHSAA, and we had an unbelievable opportunity to have Tim Street, one of the communicators, the key communicators of the OHSAA, on our show today with the Running Point with Ron Potesta, who's just getting off the air. I hope you guys were all watching that. And that was a 15, 20-minute segment with Tim Street that if you didn't see it prior to, you probably want to go back and check it out because there was a lot said. But the number one takeaway from that entire interview is that the OHSAA has zero intentions of flipping from the fall to spring with fall sports. And to me, guys, that is a breath of fresh air. How about you?
Yeah, you got some answers now, at least. Oh, I wouldn't say answers, but you have some grasp of where everything's going.
I'm with you. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. There's a lot of us that kind of maybe would be okay with it going from, football going from fall to spring. There'd be some pros, a lot of cons. And Billy, we talked about it with you. What's your immediate thought when you hear that the OHSA has no intention of flipping football from fall to spring?
Typical. Just wait. To me, it's still more like a wait and see thing. That's basically what I got out of it. Was we're going to wait till the last second to make any decision. The OHSA does not like to make decisions. Period. That's the way I look at it. And I still kind of feel the same way. If something were to change in the next week or two, we'll see. But right now, I figured that they would say exactly what they said, and hey, we're gonna all things ahead, looking forward to it, and keep it rolling. I'm excited for football. I want football to happen. I don't want to be that guy to be the Debbie Downer. I'm just, I've been through this before.
You want football to happen in the fall, or you want football to happen in the spring?
In the fall. I mean, I would love to keep everything back to what we would normal.
Right.
I'd love to get back to normal. So I don't want to be that guy, but just playing, I had to deal with this in the spring, and it was just like, they don't really like to make decisions.
No, you're right. They certainly do. But in not making a decision, and essentially they have made a decision. And for them to come out and say, we have no intention, tells me all I need to know, that if they're putting it in, and they said that, if Governor DeWine comes out and says that, it needs to be moved or it's not safe, then they won't have football and they'll go from there. But, I mean, it's a difference of, do you cut football completely, or do you cut these 7 fall sports that have not been approved yet, or do you move them to spring and kind of put the kibosh again on the spring sports? That's where I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, you're living it right now. You're the newbie. You're the guy that has some fresh blood. Talk to me about where you stand on when do you want to see football, and essentially, in hearing what Tim Street brought to the table today and keeping football in the fall. Is that cool with you, or what are your thoughts?
I'd definitely like to see football stay in the fall. I mean, even last year, it's my first year not going to 2 days and all that stuff. It feels weird. I mean, I know the guys are down there practicing. Every time I drive past the library, I always check the football field. And, I see them down there working, and I just feel like if you move football into the spring and you're moving all these different things around, I mean, they're kids, so they'll get used to it. But I don't know, it just feels right to have football in the fall.
Mike, you have an interesting perspective because your dad, again, an AD at Beaver Local, as well as the football coach. He chimed in a little bit before the show. Talk to me about what your take is on fall football and the OHSAA kind of stamping and validating that they want to keep it exactly where it is.
I think it's definitely a good sign that they want to keep it exactly where it is because, I mean, you said it yourself, Billy, they don't like making decisions, but to come out and say and give this reassurance that unless it comes straight from the governor's office, they are going to have football in the fall, it's a lot of reassurance, and it's even more so with some of the rumors. And after DJ, I think you received that email speculating that the talks were moving it to fall. It's a lot of reassurance from Street today. It's definitely a breath of fresh air. You said it yourself, that no intentions are to move it to the spring.
Do you think that coaches and athletic directors are still kind of walking on eggshells, even after hearing something like that today on our show, that they're full intention playing football in the fall? However, we're leaving it up to the governor. Do you feel like football coaches are still going to say, well, it still could be moved to the spring, and we have to be prepared for that?
Yeah, because here's my thing on it. If you're going to axe it all together, like, I think you need. I would like to see them play football regardless this year. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, everyone. I wanted. I want them to play in the fall because that's what we're used to, and that's football's played in the fall. But like, if you're gonna axe it all together, then I don't know. That kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I don't. They deserve to play, no matter if it be spring or fall. That's where and I see where you're saying with the coaches walking on eggshells because one mistake, and I'm not saying it's a mistake if someone catches COVID, but one case where they catch it, and that could almost alter what's going on with playing or not playing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because as we get into some of the other topics for the day, what you're going to find is let's just move on to another one. There's a free-for-all competition period, as we're calling it here at YSN, where you're allowed to have the 7-on-7s and play the other team or scrimmages or basketball, whatever it is, you're allowed to go and play another team. However, you have to be tested before and after, and that's all parties involved. So you're talking about coaches, you're talking about trainers, you're talking about players. So number one is that fair to the schools? And number two is that who's paying for this? Who's footing the bill for these tests that I'm pretty sure are expensive when it comes down to it? So do you think this is a good idea? Do you think that we'll see another spike? And do you think this is a reason to point at this test and say, this is a bad idea if we do it 7 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, when fall football starts coming around? Because ultimately, football is the ultimate contact sport, right? So, you have an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you're literally tackling somebody almost on every play. So that would be the ultimate transfer from one person to another when it comes to the coronavirus. Do you think that this competition period, this free-for-all, so to speak, is a good idea, yes or no?
I think it's a trial period. I look at it as a trial period, essentially, right? Like they call phase 1, phase 2. I think it's a good idea because, if you plan on playing, you might as well, roll the dice and go ahead and figure it out.
How about our boy Michael Page chiming in saying it's the best hour of the day, 3 to 4 on the Power Hour. Our dude, our number one fan out there, Michael Page.
We'll get him on one of these days.
We'll get him on. That's what's so beautiful about what we do is we want fan interaction. We want fans on our network, and we want fans on the Power Hour. So we've got our guys, but naturally, Billy Mack, he's not really official YSN. He's a fan. He's a fan of YSN. We brought him in. He's got some good intel. So, Billy, you're looking at this. You've got guys. Would you want to see your guys go scrimmage up against another bunch if it weren't baseball and see how kind of the chips fell?
Yeah, I think T hit this on the head. It's a trial period. It's a test period. The Ohio Athletic Association doesn't have any testing results outside of what they've been given, right? So this is a good opportunity for them to have their own type of data and and can kind of learn from it. If this is one of those things like I just talked about a minute ago, is if they come back and they see a whole bunch of numbers, well, they might have to rethink about having football, or they might get good numbers and say, hey, we're good, let's go.
So let me ask you guys this. This is a crazy question, and this might be a way to cheat the system a little bit, but is it feasible to tell all the coaches to nobody do a scrimmage so that way everything flatlines and we flatten the curve again, and then we just save it all for football season? Now, the other side of this could be we spike in football season, the first week of football, 1 or 2, and they cancel the rest of the season. But is it worth giving up a scrimmage now in order to play a couple games and suiting up for your high school maybe once or twice?
I don't
That's
think
a
it
tough
is.
one. I mean,
What's crazy to me is the governor just mandated Trumbull County, which is right here in our valley, a mandatory mask 6 p.m. tonight. Tonight's Wednesday. Tonight, everybody has to wear masks going forward. So is anybody from the valley going to go play in Trumbull counties? Or are we going to have that issue where teams are going to be reluctant to go play certain teams because they're hot zones and hot areas?
Well, I believe, Jamie, you're in Trumbull, aren't you?
Yes, I am Trumbull County.
So how are you feeling about this mask mandate?
I mean, I really do think it makes sense. You know, if you're going to be out, just wear a mask. Like for me, when I go and golf, I'm not around anybody besides the people that I've been with. So I wear a mask into the clubhouse. And then when I get out, I take it off. I go play my round. But if I'm going to get food or if I'm going to the store, I'm always wearing a mask just because I'm trying to look out for myself, trying to look out for my grandma and my mom. I just want to keep everyone around me safe. And if everyone's not wearing one, then it doesn't really do much.
So,
You're not going to wear
like,
masks playing 7-on-7.
I know you won't be able to, but I think
Right.
they need to. I was going to say that. So playing the 7-on-7s, that's a lot less contact than what a full game would be. So I think it's a great idea for them to go and to try it out, because if you see a giant spike, then there's really no reason to even start football season week 1, because you're only going to get 1 game or 2 games in, and even though that's 2 more games, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything.
But let me ask you this from this standpoint: if you were a spring baseball player, a senior, or a softball player, a track athlete, do you wish you could have just worn that jersey one more time as opposed to not? You know what I mean? If they're going to axe it, my thing is, if they're going to axe it, that's fine. But you'll at least be able to say that you wore your jersey one more time and you got something out of nothing. You know, you got the blood out of the stone a little bit. So that's my argument for. If I was a coach, I would probably say, hey guys, if we play this cool and we just hold our hands and keep it close to our vest, we might be able to play this out 5 weeks from now and play a game. If we don't, and this thing spikes, and the government says we're seeing some bad reports, you have no chance, and it just ends up in a situation like spring where you don't get to suit up. Now, that is just assuming, and we're playing, hyperbole where there's no lives involved, right? Nobody's getting hurt, nobody's doing anything. I would rather suit up for my team than not, especially if I'm a senior and I know that this is my last chance, because how many seniors did we see last year that wished they just one more shot? You know what I mean? To wear their school colors, to play with their teammates one more time in a game that kind of mattered. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. Coaches typically are strategists to begin with by trade. So I'd be interested to see who kind of leads the charge here, because there are emails floating around all over the place that they're trying to rally the troops and get everybody on the same page moving forward. Not that the OHSAA and coaches or athletic directors are heading for a collision course, but I think there's always some opportunity that if you strategize it a little bit, there's opportunity that you can maybe get 1 or 2 weeks of what you want to do and when otherwise there's no chance. Michael, you're in a new location now in the G. Burbick Farm Studios, about 20 feet away from me. Welcome to the teleportation period at YSN. What's your take on the free for all period and the full contact? Your mic's not on. Nope, still no mic. All right, we'll get back to Michael in just a little bit. We'll we'll take a break and we'll get back. We got so much more to talk about, guys. We're gonna talk about the 3 sports that are cleared right now: volleyball, tennis, and golf. If there were one sport you were gonna go all in on for this fall, what would it be if it couldn't be anything but those 3 sports? We'll find out each of our answers. We're also going to talk a little bit about LBJ, LeBron James. There's an article on ESPN about the Heat winning 2 titles. Why only 2? We're going to give our expert opinions. We're going to talk about the Major League schedules, and we're going to talk about Sammy Watkins and the things that he came out and tried to protect his quarterback with. All that and more coming up on the YSN Power Hour, powered proudly by the sponsors at the bottom of your screen.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plans still meet your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, as well as a band of brothers here. It's Billy McCartney, Jamie Thompson. We got Mike McKenzie, we think, back on the ones and twos. Still can't hear you, Mike. There he goes.
There we go.
Now he's on.
So it's not too loud.
And we got Tristan's room. Is pulling a cameo here, minus Tristan. So it's at least his room's clean. There. Oh, he changed up.
Oh, he's got the Space Jam jersey.
So now this is something he's always wanted to do since we started the YSN Power Hour. Is my man wants to have like Britney Spears like changing clothing every break. So
harder than I thought.
it is a little harder than you thought, right? So now you got some more respect for Britney Spears, I'm sure, more than you had already. Hashtag free Britney. We have Rick Havrilla, the big halves, chiming in saying somehow baseball will get the screws. Spring sports are the ugly stepchild. I got to agree with them.
Revenue.
What's that?
It doesn't bring in the revenue that the OHSAA cares about.
No, you're right. It all comes down to money. But at the end of the day, like number one deal for OHSAA is they got to protect the kids. Like they've got to. They got to care about the kids. I don't care what sport they play. They got to care about their kids. You know, I mean, if this is about the kids, then you don't put the screws to one over the other because you're lining your pockets. And I can respect that the OHSAA is a business, and I think we can all do that. However, the baseball, the spring sports, they just got kiboshed completely yoked, bop, gone. And now we're going to say, you know, the conversation of we're going to flip, you know, spring to fall and fall to spring, and then, oh, by the way, baseball and softball here, you're gone. I mean, you're done again. Like, they're going to get the screws, as Ricky Havrilla put it, they're going to get the screws put to them again if that's the situation. Like, football is king. We get that. It's 70, sometimes even more % of the revenue for the entire year. We all understand that. However, that doesn't mean that everybody else should falter. You know what I mean? Like, they give out D1 scholarships in baseball, too. You know, not as many as football, but they also give a ton of softball scholarships away, do they not? So, you know, it's not just baseball that's getting, and track and field, and you look at the way the Olympics got pushed back. Listen, we get it. But at the end of the day, holy cow, like, why are we not treating everybody the same? Like, we got different pieces here. So, all interesting, and thanks to Rick Havrilla for chiming in. Guys, there's 3 sports that have been cleared to this point: volleyball, tennis, and golf. Now, I know what Jamie's going to say. I think we all know what Jamie's going to say because he's like the Tiger Woods of the Mahoning Valley. Dude golfs every day.
You're going to have somebody with him, too.
Oh, you're a golfer, too. So volleyball, tennis, or golf, if you've got all your eggs, which basket are you putting in for fall sports that you think would tear the house down here on the network?
Volleyball. Volleyball for sure.
Volleyball for Tristan. Let's go around the horn here.
I mean, as much as
golf.
I want to say golf, I don't think anybody would really. I don't know. People would tune in for sure, but I don't know if many people would come to actually watch the golf matches. I mean, personally, I've only been to one golf match and watch it, so I'm gonna have to go with volleyball too.
I think volleyball brings in the viewers. I would love to see golf. I would love to see how that would work, how we would cover that. But I'm going volleyball that would bring in the most viewers.
Billy Mack strikes me as a tennis guy. Like, I could see him getting behind tennis and being a tennis coach out there on the side court or whatever they call it. Are you a tennis guy, Billy?
Nothing about tennis. Nothing about
No
tennis.
love for tennis?
About
Did you get that joke?
about as much as about as much as I know about golf. Nothing.
I thought you were going to say baseball because I was going to start laughing. That would have been a perfect joke. So what sport's the one you think would light the world on fire here on the network?
I think volleyball, just because it would be a little bit more fast paced. I would believe. Well, tennis seems to be fast paced too. So it could go either way. It could go volleyball or tennis. I'm pretty split there.
Volleyball already creates. I mean, it's got great ratings on YSN. Now, here's a little bit of an interesting thing. If you're an athletic,
I thought tennis was a spring sport, though.
I'm confused.
Like it was too. That and golf both seem like it would be a spring sport, but they are fall sports.
Tennis is an actual fall sport in OHSA.
I believe so.
I believe, yeah. Beaver Local has a fall tennis team.
Okay.
I know out where I live, there's a tennis team in the fall.
So let me ask you this: you are the athletic director of a school. Volleyball, is going to bring in revenue because it's a paid sport. Golf, sometimes, I mean, I don't. Do they? I've never been to one, and I should have. Do they make you pay to go on the golf course to watch during high school, or do they just let you on?
I don't remember.
I think you pay the course as a school. You pay the course, and then if you go watch, you have to go pay like green fees to watch the match.
You have to pay green fees to watch?
I think it is. I went. If I remember correctly, I went and watched my brother one time. I think you have to pay to go and watch, but you're paying the clubhouse, so the school gets none of that money. From what I understand.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the school doesn't. If we're talking about school revenue,
you're losing money.
There's little to nothing. You're talking in terms of revenue for the actual school and the district and all that.
You're looking at
would go to that clubhouse and go to the actual course.
So you're looking at volleyball basically. If those three are the only three that fly during the fall.
Volleyball and tennis are the only ones that are going to bring in revenue.
What's tennis going to bring in? Like, we play at the park.
A little bit. I know Beaver Local actually has a tennis court out by the football practice fields.
So do they take tickets?
I don't know if they take tickets, but I would guess that they would start doing it to bring in a form of revenue.
Well, I don't think you're allowed to have spectators to begin. I mean, it'll be limited spectators to begin with.
Even if so, I mean, that if these are your only three places of revenue, you're not getting any from the golf course. You get volleyball. Maybe as a little bit extra, you start charging heads for the 20% capacity at the tennis courts. That's what I would do if I was an athletic director.
I would be willing to guess, as Travis McCartney chimes in, say he's totally a tennis guy. I think it'd be awesome to see. Like, I could get behind watching some high school tennis. But here's my my interesting point. If you're an athletic director, do you start pushing towards getting boys volleyball at your school? If there's no football, you've got about 30 to 50 kids that would be interested in playing another sport if they're allowed to play. Would volleyball be a viable option to replace football for boys in the fall?
Oh, hell yeah. I think it'd be awesome. I would have been an awesome volleyball player, for sure. So, you know what I mean? If that's an option for athletes to go do something, if you're not doing anything, shit, go play volleyball. You know what I mean? Go do something. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great.
We're gonna need to see some proof of that fantastic volleyball skill.
Yeah, like, where did that come from? What resume do you have to speak of?
We're going to need some proof. You better have been the best kid at volleyball in gym class when they did volleyball week.
Since '91.
That's when he was born. Since 91. He was established as the best volleyball player ever since 91. Since he was in diapers. Here we go. Trey chiming in. Volleyball realistically would be the one to bring in views.
Yes.
Listen, I'm with that, but I also think that tennis could do it. And if we did it right, golf could also bring in some unbelievable views because I think
body cam?
you could get behind some of these golfers and golf is one of those games that people relate to, right?
There's a way to do one of these. I mean,
now I think it's going to be a little bit tough because you're probably going to have multiple guys there, one doing on a headset and another carrying a camera, or you're going to have to set up a tripod on the golf cart. There's going to be a lot of things that go into it, but I definitely think there could be a golf broadcast put together.
It would be hell on wheels. Like, it would be an absolute nightmare, but it would be fun to
start
watch.
going Jim Nance on everybody.
Hello, friends.
Oh, he just lost another ball.
Tiger Woods steps up to the tee box.
Oh, this is where Michael was going the entire time. Michael just wants to debut his British accent, which he did during Wii Sports.
No, I'll debut that during Wii Sports.
Hello, friends.
I want to hear it.
Hello.
All right.
You want to hear the British accent right now?
Here it is. Debut it.
Yeah, let's.
You want to? Tiger Woods steps up to the tee box on 18.
Keep going.
I don't know why I said
Keep going. It's not even British.
I don't want to call it a British accent. I just want to call it a golf accent that I use.
That's like when my buddy used an Australian accent for absolutely every accent he tries to do. Like he does, he says at Taco Bell or a Spanish restaurant or a Mexican restaurant, he goes, "G'day, mates," and I'm like, that is Australian, dude. That's not even close. Like that's not even a tiny bit close. Michael uses his golf accent. We're gonna call it for British. Do it again, one more time for us.
Golf accent. Jordan Spieth stepping up to the green.
You gotta throw him, crikey.
Crikey! He really got a hold of that one. Crikey! All right, we have Rick. Yeah, Rick's agreeing with me, which is something that no one should ever have to.
Now,
are we all in on volleyball though? Would we get behind boys volleyball?
Factors that have to go into it. I would love to see it, but you got to make sure you have a roster. You got to make sure you have other schools that get full rosters. You got to go through a full scheduling process. They probably, I don't know, it would be a very quick and trying process for ADs.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I suggested this in the pre-show and your dad was there, Mike, I think I got his wheels turning a little bit. I got his wheels spinning. So Beaver Local might be the first ever school to have boys volleyball here around. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a hit. Like I think it would really be a hit.
It would.
I think people it would kill. I really, especially if there's no football to rely on, and you still have the Title IX that you have to utilize. Boys need to find a sport in order to even things out. So why not do boys volleyball? Now, I'm not sure I could get behind the spandex part of it, but like if you're wearing the shorts, then whatever. You know, it is what it is. You can change up the uniform a little bit, but yeah, like let's go. Because I only say that because that was girls were allowed to play football, right? So we had girls that played football, and then the coach always said, well, you can come play volleyball if you want. You just have to wear the spandex. And that was like, not happening. Like, no way, Jose. Oh, we know you would do it. You did it on national television at a pay-per-view. Wearing Spanx, wearing bike shorts. Billy, would you rock the spandex and do boys volleyball?
No.
You can borrow my spandex. Used.
That's a dumb question.
The most subtle yet true.
Well, in that case.
What about you, Jamie? You in on spandex volleyball?
I think I can get behind it, yeah. I'd definitely wear some spandex to play some volleyball.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think I can get behind any of this stuff.
I'm not getting behind that, no.
There's no way. Like, it's just not the way I fly.
My team used to be stacked when we were in middle school. That's all I know. We were sweet.
For boys volleyball?
It was like the gym classes. Everybody, you'd get your team, you'd play your gym class, and then you'd move on through like the tournament throughout the year. Then the winners would play the teachers at the end. So it was me, Adria Powell, who's now at Ohio State. She graduated a year early to go play there. And then Davion Daniels, who's, playing cornerback at Bowling Green. So
yeah.
pretty solid squad.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that. But you guys were ahead of the curve there. I mean, you're doing boys volleyball or combined volleyball before. I mean, years before. Talking 10 years, a decade.
No, it could have been nice. Could have won a state championship, maybe. I don't know.
Championship, I love it. I mean, I'm all in, like all in on boys volleyball minus the spandex, or I mean, whatever you want to wear. What I mean, in baseball, you have tight pants anyway. I mean, for the majority of it. I mean, they're getting back to be that way. They used to be like when I was in school, everybody wanted the baggy pants. They wanted the David Ortiz pants, and now it's kind of spinning back towards the Pete Rose days where everything's kind of tight, especially in basketball. LeBron started that thing where everybody's wearing the high shorts again. Not a fan. Like regular shorts, we can just be regular.
Now, so I talked to DJ about this earlier. The Ivy League, the announcement isn't in, but there is a news. The Division III Centennial Conference, I know it's D3, but they suspended all their fall sports. So the trend is possibly starting.
Well, and I think a lot of that comes down to travel, don't you? I mean, when you're talking travel and you're going from state to state, I think there's a problem. The PAC, the President's Athletic Conference, which we know so well, Westminster's, the Teals, the Bethanys, Washington and Jefferson, they actually are choking down to a 9-game schedule in conference only. So that's interesting to me because Bethany's in West Virginia and everything else is in Pennsylvania. It's interesting that they're even utilizing that and not suspending. I don't know if they can or not suspend Bethany because they're in a different state, but even in different locations. You know what I mean? That's kind of, they're kind of all over the place. So this whole thing is a case by case basis. But when you look at from where we stand, from the coverage that we have here in Northeast Ohio, and you travel a little bit south, Michael, towards down where you're so accustomed to, it's interesting because you have teams that say, well, we're not going to travel. Well, what do you think's going to happen? Like nobody's going to be like, oh, okay, we'll just come to you for 10 games. That's not going to happen. Like you're not going to get there. Yeah. So I mean, what are your thoughts immediately on hearing the news that Michael just broke that they're suspending all fall sports at the D3 level in some capacity? Did you say it's the Ivy League?
No, that's not. That's not the Ivy League. But
okay, I was going to say
the Centennial Conference in Division III has suspended fall sports.
And where's I don't know the Centennial Conference.
I know.
Where are they located?
Yeah, there's multiple. The schools that are Franklin and Marshall University. Trying to find this. Moravian, June. I don't even know what any of these places are. But.
Yeah, so I bet they're. I mean, no offense to the people that play there, but I mean, nobody knows where that is.
Nobody knows where it is. There's probably not a whole lot of revenue being brought in, but it's notable. Fall sports are starting to be suspended.
You feel bad for those kids. I mean, I guess they're not kids anymore. You feel bad for the players, the student athletes that are not going to be able to do it.
If they suspend them or cancel them, they might have an opportunity to leave.
That's true.
Lose a year of eligibility.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
I mean, that's what they did with baseball, right?
Yeah, it could be an opportunity.
It's like a snow day. Everyone's going to follow suit. You know what I mean? If one school cancels, the other school cancels, the other school cancels. I think they're just waiting for someone.
I think this is the first of a couple. Probably. This isn't the last time we'll hear.
Yeah, and of course, the Ivy League is making their announcement. I don't know when that's going to be. They said they came out with an official statement that they will be making this statement July 8th, no given time. So it could happen any minute that news breaks.
I got to be honest with you. Like the Ivy League, they're not known for sports anyway. Their kids are still like they're all going to be bosses somewhere and doctors. So like they'll be okay. I don't feel bad for the Ivy League.
But it is notable that they were the first school to shut down due to COVID. They canceled their men's and women's basketball tournaments and suspended the regular season a week before everybody else followed after Rudy Gobert tested positive. So, you talk about all the smart kids in the Ivy League, they have the information to make decisions early.
Literally, they're probably studying right now.
That other people, other conferences and schools can follow behind. So it's notable that they were the first to hop on the trend of suspending in March. Could they be the first to hop on the trend of moving back to spring or conference only or in the full capacity for fall sports? So
if that happens, I think there's a bunch of Ohio State and Penn Staters that are going to stuff them in their lockers, their Ivy League lockers, because they'll be pissed off. So we'll see how that goes for them. Because I see, point taken, right? You have the fact that but they're not necessarily known for their sports. You know what I mean? They're not going to lose revenue because, you know, Penn doesn't play. That's just not how it's going to go. People will go to Penn because it's Ivy League. Now, if you just think about this for 1 second. Ohio State, no football. How much money
Don't
do
you
they
dare
lose?
say that.
I'm just saying.
My God.
The whole state will blow up. Ohio would blow up.
The Ohio, the state's economy would go down tremendously.
Notre Dame, no football.
Now, you still have Indiana in that state, but that's still a huge hit.
Penn State, no football. Michigan,
They got
no
Pitt.
football.
They got Pitt.
That's basically
Pennsylvania
how
got
they
Pitt.
play against Ohio State anyway.
Oh, look at the dig. Look at him throwing the dig.
It's true. It's true.
It is true, but
15 L's in 16 years, they ought to just give up.
did you guys know that Michael is an Ohio State fan?
Oh,
I
wait.
couldn't tell. I couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell.
Yes.
I couldn't tell.
Let's talk.
I had it so very well.
Speaking of pride of Ohio, let's talk about one of the biggest names in Ohio, and especially here in the AK Rowdy area, the Heat. There's an article on ESPN.com up right now. Check it out. Talks about why LeBron's Heat won only 2 NBA titles. What was the whole thing? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
There was a
not
lot
6.
about that statement that was true. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9. But it was 2. I mean, he was right about every number from 3 on. And I got one name. Why? Kawhi Leonard. Led the Spurs to the 2015 championship. And then LeBron leaves to go to Cleveland.
I think you call it karma or divine intervention.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think they were that. I mean, they were good. You had Joel Anthony starting for them. The dude carried out the
They
water
lost
and then
two.
played
They
Ray-
lost
Ray
to
Allen.
bums. They should have never lost the Mavs, and that'll be on his resume forever.
Yep.
Dallas should. They
The
should have
Mavs
beat
got
Dallas
hot.
in
They got
4
hot right
games.
at the right time.
I mean, they
I'm
had
not denying
they had
that.
Dirk
They
Nowitzki,
should-
one of the best power forwards to ever do it. Definitely top 5 of the time.
When you have Bosh, Wade, James against Dirk, and name me another player that was relevant, that was over 5'7".
Time out. Time out. You forgot somebody on that. Bosh, Wade, James. You got Ray Allen too. Let's not forget about him.
Ray
Sneaking out in the
So-
corner.
Ray Allen was there
Exactly. Thank you, DJ. Because
He
why
was
should
only
they?
there
They
1
should
year.
not be losing to Dallas. With all those guys, all those guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And all you're going up
NBA Hall of
against
Fame.
is Dirk. I mean, yes, he's a top 5 power forward all time. LeBron James is a top
Only Dirk.
best small forward ever.
Only Dirk. Pull up that roster. Pull up that roster.
Let's pull. I got
Jason
you right
Terry,
now.
Jason Kidd.
Right now.
Yep. Kid.
Jason Terry. Michael Page chimed in. Jason Terry was on that team, I guess.
Hang on.
Yeah, Jason Terry. He's the reason they lost, man. I'm telling you, Terry was lighting up that series.
Yes.
Yeah, let's
See, man.
Hey,
let's
pump
see.
it. That's my dog.
The 2010 to 11 Dallas Mavericks roster.
You're killing me, Rick.
Rick Halves is calling
Alright,
out Billy and
so-
spandex.
Let's see some of the notable names that some people might recognize. JJ Barea, Corey
He was
Brewer.
good. He was a good guard.
Hey,
He was
JJ
better than
Barea.
Mario Chalmers.
He was. Tyson Chandler, Jason Kidd, Sean Marion, Steve Novak, Dirk Nowitzki, and Jason Terry were some of the notable names that were on that Mavericks roster.
That's a
Listen.
loaded roster, man.
No, it's not a loaded roster.
Dude, come on.
Look, he had a better
Okay,
roster.
Tyson Chandler is still a freak to this day. Tyson Chandler's still a monster.
Dude, that's
You
like
wanted
getting
Chris
a
Bosh
pack
to
of
go to
sparklers
Like
and
I said,
saying that's a
Joel
grand
Anthony
finale
was
at a
the
fireworks show. Come on, man.
Listen, do
Come
not
on, bro.
discredit that Mavericks roster. Don't discredit it, but 100% the Miami Heat had the more talented roster.
That's
Yeah.
not even
Okay, now
debatable.
I'm saying,
You
I'm not
got
saying
the-
it's
you got
it is
the
Miami's
king.
fault. Miami
Dwayne
dogs
Wade in
too.
his prime. Chris Bosh in his prime at center before he had all those blood clot injuries. He was a damn good center. That roster for the Heat has no excuse to losing to the Mavericks, who only had really
None.
Tyson Chandler, Dirk Nowitzki, and Jason Terry. That
they
victory
won the- yeah,
against
they
the
should've
Heat
won.
victory.
This was also the series.
Miami all day.
LeBron was tapping out. LeBron was tapping out. I got cramps.
That's the thing, LeBron.
Mentally weak.
Again, they did it to themselves because they had no depth. They had no
Little
depth.
sissy girl.
But come on, they were playing 6 deep.
Michael Page saying it doesn't matter what talent a team has, it's how they play together and embrace their roles. Miami had too many egos. He's right, and I will tell you what else they had. They had one ball to feed 3 superstars, which they didn't really think about. So when you look at this,
they
Kyrie
won
Allen
twice,
is a
though.
possible fourth superstar because the dude was known for 3-point shooting.
That's
Ray Allen was there for, like,
a
the year
weird
they
thing
won, and
because
then the
they
year
still
after,
won
that's it.
twice.
They won twice. They had the chemistry, but
So you can't
in
say
some
it
areas,
was too many egos because they
No.
won 2 chips.
they won 2 chips. But you can't win
You keep saying
a
Ray
lot.
Allen. Ray
You
Allen was
can't
not on
go.
that team when they lost the match.
when
But
did Ray
I'm
Allen
talking
join?
I'm talking about past their first chip, the 2015 or 2014 year.
Can we
one
get
when they
to the
lost
chip
to the San
thing? Like,
Antonio Spurs.
does it bother anybody else that everybody calls it a chip and it's a ship? Like, it is a ship,
Like, there's
not a chip.
Chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, you buy chips from a store. You
Yeah,
don't,
let's go ship. They win 2 ships. They win
I'm
2
going chip.
titles.
Why not?
you keep
I
going
don't.
chip.
Chip sounds a little better to me, but I don't care. They win 2 titles in 4 appearances. 1 loss to the Spurs, 1 loss to the Mavs. The loss to the Mavs is unacceptable. But when you look at the Spurs team, who, if I'm not mistaken, they beat once or twice in the finals. They had beaten in the finals already, and then Kawhi Leonard turns it on last year. The Spurs.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. I love him. But, I mean, he won the finals MVP that year. They still had Tim Duncan on that team. They still had Tony Parker, who was good before in his last year at San Antonio, and then when he left to go to Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken.
Can we go to the quiet guy up in the right-hand corner and ask
Yeah,
Jamie what he thinks?
Let's give Jamie a chance to talk. I've talked too much.
Yeah.
What are we going with here? You're still talking about the Heat? I think the Mavericks beating the Heat was probably, at least as far as I know, the second biggest upset in the finals, besides when the Lakers lost with Peyton, Malone, Shaq, and Kobe.
The super team.
I used to be a huge Heat fan. Like, I used to love LeBron. I followed LeBron to Miami when he left Cleveland. So I was all in on the Heat, and I honestly didn't think there was any reason they should have lost to the Mavericks. But, I mean, just looking at the starting lineup, like you said, it's Chandler, Dirk, Jason Kidd, Sean Marion, and Jason Terry. I think Terry –
AJ Barea coming off the bench.
He was coming off the bench. Barea came off the bench. Terry started. But, like, there's no reason that they should have lost. I don't – and then LeBron just kind of jumped ship after they lost to San Antonio, came back to Cleveland, which, I mean, I'm all for, but he did give the promise that they're going to win all these titles. You lost once and you ran out of town. Same thing you did when you lost in Cleveland. You ran to Los Angeles. It's just kind of what he does. That's
Now,
why
I think the thing is, he left Miami. Yeah, he left Miami for more than just going back to Cleveland to win them a championship. He left. That was a reason. But another reason was because he saw Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh work the same way Wade and Chris Bosh from 2013 and 14. They weren't going to be that way for in the next year.
No.
And
Let me educate you on why LeBron left.
And you want to know why he also left? Because 3 years in a row, Cleveland had #1 overall picks, even if 2 busted in Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett.
LeBron doesn't like being second fiddle in the spotlight.
Got Kyrie. That's
LeBron does not like being second fiddle in the spotlight. LeBron likes being that shot. Like, he bathes in the limelight. Like, anything that he
also
can
wants
do.
to go somewhere where he can get talent.
He wants to go somewhere where they praise his feet. Like, that's what he wants. And he knew that if he came back to Cleveland, everybody would bow down. And if he was lucky enough to win a championship, and he did, he's good forever. Like, that's my biggest beef with Cleveland fans for the rest of time, is you let this dude just walk in, walk out, walk back in, and left the screen door open when he took off to L.A. Like, he is supposed to be
It's like
your
that
guy.
Simpsons meme where he walks in, hangs his hat up.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You ever see
Like,
that Simpsons?
yeah, absolutely. Grandpa Simpson. Yeah, that's exactly what LeBron did. And Cleveland fans are okay with it. They're like, "Oh, you got us a championship.
Yeah.
You're good. Like, we'll buy your Lakers jersey now, LeBron." Like, that's
Lost 3. He came back, like you said, DJ. But you have 3 straight years of the #1 overall pick. Even if you did reach for Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins is mostly a bust in Cleveland. I mean, he's got young talent that isn't going to overtake him as the top dog in Cleveland. I mean, you got Kyrie Irving coming out of Duke, one of the best point guard prospects. in the last 5 years.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and I agree that with
Right there,
Tristan.
some of the young
He
talent.
everybody that wasn't on the LeBron train was packing their bags, and you haven't heard from them since. Like LeBron put them all under the rug, and they like nothing. They're just dust bunnies, right? That's all they are in the NBA anymore, dust bunnies. Like, and Kyrie Irving, he's going to be the next dust bunny.
There is one thing I do like about LeBron. When Tyson Chandler came to the Lakers last year, LeBron called the front office or whatever. They said it was going to take this long. LeBron stepped in. You can read the article because this is a real story. Said, no. We need him here this week. And then Tyson Chandler, sure as shit, was in a Lakers jersey the next week. That they're giving him that power, though. Do you not agree? They enabled that monster.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a one-of-a-kind talent. However, he is a 18-year-old mentality. You know, like, I'm going to get mine. Like, he never got out of that senioritis. Like, never did it. The only time he did, he runs away. He runs for cover. He ran to Miami. He ran back to Cleveland. Mike, I think you're dead on with this because they had some picks. They had some younger talent where he could. I mean, you talk about load management. LBJ is the guy that started that whole crap.
And
don't know Michael Jordan.
Dennis Rodman.
And don't forget,
Dennis Rodman.
Cleveland had the package to trade for Kevin Love, and he also knew that. They had the package to trade for Kevin Love.
Dan Gilbert was trashing LeBron. Don't forget that. Yeah, I mean,
yes, I forgot about that.
He was pissed, and he came out in Comic Sans font.
The title to stick it in that dude's face. He's like, I'm gonna win this title, and I'm gonna stick it right in your face, and then I'm gonna own the team, and you're gonna beg for me back.
And out of the 5 people here, Tristan, who wouldn't do the same thing?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have stuck it in his face. I'd have stuck it somewhere else. But that's just, everyone, you want to stick it to the man. Absolutely.
I'm with you. But, like, if somebody that's the difference. Like, when you're a competitor, and that's what Dan Gilbert is, because business is the ultimate sport, right? When you're a competitor and somebody wrongs you, listen, man, I'm going to go win that ship without you. We're going to do great things without you. Good luck, because we'll see you. Unfortunately for Gilbert, he never got that chance because their team stunk, like really, really bad. And also a terrible thought process when he was typing this out, or whoever his PR person, I know for a fact it was him, typing this out in Comic Sans font. Like, there are angrier fonts and professional fonts that you can pick out. The dude picks Comic Sans. Like, it's like Family Guy or something. He's writing a script for Family Guy. So, like, that was your first mistake. Your second mistake was trashing LeBron because you just fueled the fire. But I think everybody understands where he was coming from with that, as opposed to trying to trash him. He was just trying to protect himself.
Now back trying to win back his fans because his fans just left.
Who else we got here?
Other people. Well, I think it was Tristan.
I went to a Cavs game for like $5 when LeBron left. That's exaggeration. It wasn't $5, but it was pretty cheap to go to a Cavs game when LeBron left. Like, I sat like 6 rows up for like under $60. I can say that.
And what kind of basketball was being played?
Was that the year they won 12 games?
6 games in the season, and they fired Tyler because he wasn't the coach. And
I don't know. The Cavs were bad. I know that because my sister worked for them. They were bad. And then they got good really quick, and she got a championship ring. So technically, I have a brother-in-law and a sister that has, because they're married, that's how that works. They have championship rings. And they're legit. I just want to make sure you knew. Tristan, everybody, I want to make sure you understood that's how the connection works.
I didn't know before today. You learn shit every day. So.
$3 a ticket after he left, says Travis McCartney. So, yeah, I would say revenue was probably down. And that one of the things that they always talk about with LBJ is he brings revenue to your city, wherever he is. He is the New York Yankees. He sells out crowds. Yeah. People want to see him and say, I saw him when. So, I mean, the same way that we did when he played in Salem. So, very interesting stuff. Overall, who do you think is the reason, if you were to point to one finger to one person, who was the reason that the Heat only won 2 titles? Go.
LeBron.
I'm gonna go with the combination of LeBron and Kawhi.
What'd you say, Chris?
I'll say Chris Bosh just because Chris Bosh, he's ugly. I don't like ugly athletes.
All right, you're in on it.
Okay. Wow.
All right,
But I got
Captain.
I got a reverse question.
Okay.
I got a reverse question. Who's the reason they won? And my answer is Pat Riley.
Oh yeah. If Pat Riley's not involved, none of that happens. We're talking.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about all three of those guys going to Chicago. To be quite honest with you, you know what I mean. They want to bring back the Bulls dynasty, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm with you, Tristan. That's a great call. Great call. Let's talk about MLB schedules, Michael. This is a topic that you wanted to talk about.
Love it.
A lot of interest and intrigue in the MLB schedules. What are you seeing out there?
I'm seeing the interesting thing about playing teams in your local area instead of playing, you always look forward to games like series like the Nationals and the Dodgers, where you're talking about East Coast versus West Coast, best teams out there, Braves, Giants, some of those games. Those are eliminated now. It also adds games like the Astros and the Dodgers. It adds these games between teams that are local, both in the AL and NL West, and you get matchups possibly like Clayton Kershaw versus Mike Trout in the season. It's a lot different schedule, and it provides different matchups for what you saw, and I just think it's going to be fun to see 60 games against teams that are local, and you're not traveling anywhere, and especially out west to see some of these matchups, but like Clayton Kershaw, Mike Trout, Dodgers, Astros in the regular season.
Billy, you're the resident baseball expert. How do you feel about the 60 games and all local teams playing each other?
Are they playing baseball?
Yes, sir.
I'm in.
I like it. I like that shit.
The all-time stolen base leader at Hubbard High School, Jamie Thompson. Your feelings?
I'm very excited for baseball to come back, and I didn't look at all the schedules that came out. I saw a few of them. Isn't it like 2 weeks in? Aren't the Dodgers and the Astros going to play?
Yeah, they're already hyping that train up.
Yeah, I want to see. You know, if the Yankees play the Astros, because I want to see Chapman versus Altuve and see how hard Chapman.
That's happening in the playoffs. I'm telling you that right now. That's happening in the playoffs, one way or another.
Did you
Yankees
got to
get to the playoffs.
Chapman is,
the Yankees are getting to the playoffs.
He's gigantic.
Chapman is jacked.
Listen, if you were to get into it, listen. All right, so you've got. We did this before with a few fighters. We did what? Mike Tyson, Kelly Pavlik, and Conor McGregor. If you were to get into a ring with Chapman,
that's my guy.
Chapman, you can fight who else? Johnny Bones Jones or Hulk Hogan. Who would it be? Who would it be in order of person you'd rather take a punch or a kick from down the roster?
Oh, Hulk Hogan, he can't even scratch his own. He can't even wipe his own butt.
Hulk Hogan in his prime, all right? You jerk.
All right. So we're going with all primes.
All primes.
I think I'm still taking Hulk Hogan there.
So there's Hulk Hogan, Tyson, McGregor.
No, Hulk Hogan. You have Hulk Hogan. You have Johnny Bones Jones, and you have Aroldis Chapman.
Aroldis Chapman. Ooh. I think I'd have to put Chapman first. I mean, I'm going Chapman, Hogan, Johnny Bones Jones, because I feel like he'll probably destroy my head with a kick. Literally just leg right through it, sever my head.
Okay.
He's dangerous, man. He is
I respect that.
Deadly dude.
Would you like? Here's another question, a better question. Would you rather let somebody hit you? This is an average Joe, hit you in the back with a baseball bat, or let Aroldis Chapman throw what he throws dead in the middle of your back?
I'm taking the baseball bat in the back.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the average Joe. I'm gonna have to agree with that.
I asked McCutcheon taking the 101 in the shoulder that one night in Great American Ballpark.
I think I'd rather take 101 just to say I did it.
I'm not taking 101.
I think I would just.
I don't care how much I'm bragging about. I took a 101 fastball from Chapman. I am not going through that pain.
My first base coach would be like, I think I'm dying. That's what I like to do.
Sup?
What is it they do in football? The tap? Give me a runner. Give me a runner. I would take 101. I would take 101 in the back, and then you know what? I would just turn around and say, "Don't rub it. Don't rub it." I would pump myself up saying, "Don't rub it. Don't rub it," and I would walk very quickly down, like power walk style, like this, down to the base.
That's if you
I'll
get
tell you,
out.
got no marbles.
You're down there for a couple minutes.
No, dude. No, I'm not even. You're not even knocking me off my. Like that's me. I'm gonna take it in the back and I'm gonna walk down there and I'm gonna stare at him the entire
Who
time.
set this up? Anybody know Chapman? Who set this up?
Pletch will be on the Astros roster next week. So I mean, it's one of those things. Like if he figures out a way to get him eligible, he'll be there. You should know that better than anybody. You're on that same train. You get Chapman. I'll step in. I'll step in on that. Yeah, look at you texting him right now. I'm excited for the Indians versus Pirates. I know they end the season in Cleveland.
Last series of the season in Cleveland. You talk about Jamie. I don't know if you're a fan of. You like Indians, Pirates, or somebody else?
Yankees.
Ooh.
Yankees guy.
All right, we're gonna have a little bit.
I catch flack for it.
Majority of
UNT, right in the same category. There you go.
Talking here, they're rooting for either the Pirates or the Indians. With 60 games, anything can happen. More than likely, that is going to have playoff implications one way or another for one team or both. You're talking about a local matchup up in Cleveland locally. That is going to attract a lot of talk, and I think it's just very interesting that it's going to be head-to-head teams locally, like me and DJ going for the Pirates against, Tristan and Billy going for the Indians. Let's say that's the case for a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun.
Let's just go out there. I'm going to throw this out there. The Pirates are not going to be playing for a spot in the playoffs.
I'm going to tell you right now, yes, they are.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Guys, I don't know if you caught.
If we can get to June and July from 2018 out of Gregory Polanco in these 2 months, not saying it's going to happen. I don't think it will. But if we can, we are going to be playing for a spot.
No. Whenever the manager came out and said that we're going to do some interesting things with our pitchers, and we're going to have 2 pitchers be 1 or 1 pitcher be 2, I was like, well, there it goes. Bye-bye season. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
I mean, the Pirates, you talk, I don't even know.
Is it like morphin time?
Yeah, we're done. Like, the Pirate, as soon as you, like, basically this dude is Clint Hurdle V2. And I'm not cool with, like, 2 pitchers becoming 1 or like, Megazords or whatever he's talking about. Like, let your pitchers be pitchers. We don't have that many to begin with. And no, we don't have the offense to back it up either. So the Pirates are going to stink again.
The offense, I have to disagree with the offense in about 2 years. In about 2 years, that offense is going to be good.
Well, according to my watch, that's a couple ice cream seasons away.
Yes, it is.
What are you yawning about up there?
Hearing the Pirates talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you rather we switch to the Cleveland Steamers?
I mean, Josh Bell.
No, I'm just making fun of the Pirates. That's all.
How many home runs did Josh Bell have?
How many home runs?
Yeah. It's more than any Indians player had last season.
Oh, don't get into this.
That's all I know.
What does that matter? That has zero implications on anything.
Just saying.
Because in 3 years, Josh Bell won't play for the Pirates. And we're going to be sitting here talking about...
Josh Bell is not playing for the Pirates in 3 years. I think that I might stop watching baseball. Kutch and
He's
Bell.
not going to.
I'll read this bedtime story to you,
Pirates,
Michael.
All the Pirates are going to make a check out to him?
Here's how it goes. A long time ago, in a forest far, far away, the Pirates didn't pay anybody, and naturally, all the players left. So let me tell you. Let's fast forward a couple pages. Oh, there it is. Josh Bell's on that list 2 years from now. That's how the story ends. Put your money down. That's how it goes.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see in a few years.
And rocking the pinstripes is what you're going to see.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'd rather.
You think they're going to pay him?
I think that there's a better chance with Charrington as GM.
Charrington makes his money in the draft.
All right.
He's going to be. Look, he's going to be a guy that's going to be getting 20 to 22 million a year.
I mean, I don't know why, but Nuttington offered Polanco more than Kutch was making in Kutch's prime. I think that there's a chance that the go-ahead is given to keep Bell and let a lot of other guys walk. Like
how much was McCutcheon making? Rough estimate.
I think he was making.
I think it was like $38.50 and a Subway sandwich.
No, I mean, they offered Polanco a lot.
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
They had Garrett Cole.
What happened
to
Garrett
got him
Cole?
for nobody.
What happened to Garrett
they
Cole?
They gave him to the Astros for nobody.
What happened was Garrett Cole didn't work under Ray Series' system. Same thing with Tyler Glass now. Series made them throw ground ball pitches, and it screwed their whole mechanics up. They're strikeout pitchers in the series. You just let them be strikeout pitchers. That's what happened.
There is, I would, Michael, I will buy you season tickets if Josh Bell decides to come and stay in Pittsburgh.
I already have season tickets, DJ.
Well, check that off the list.
Well,
Winner. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's wishful thinking. It is like I hate to shatter your little heart because I know you love Josh Bell so much, but enjoy him while he's here.
I like Josh Bell too.
I do too.
Great player.
He's fantastic, and that's why he's not going to be in a Pirates uniform for very long.
Maybe
And hopefully,
he'll be in an Indian uniform. Santana will be gone at that point.
Oh, you're just
if Josh Bell is in an Indian uniform in 2025, I think that there might be a little bit of conversion going on.
There you go. That'd be good for you, Mike. You look good in red, white, and blue.
He already
we never
does.
know. They might change their colors. They might change their colors when they become whatever they're going to become.
If they become the Cleveland Spiders, it better be black and red, or it's going to be a terrible color scheme.
Yeah, I like the black and red idea. That'd be sweet. Got to get the real Spider-Man logo on it. Then.
Yeah, you gotta embrace the full Spiders name if you're gonna go with the Cleveland Spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scotty's been talking about for 3 months.
Dude, listen, Scotty jumped in the DeLorean 3 months ago and called this before we even saw it coming.
Now
it was incredible.
I like that.
So, hey, we got to wrap this show up, Mike. We can't talk about Josh Bell forever.
I wanted to talk about Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him either. The Pirates don't deserve to be on our network right now. The last thing we're going to talk about to wrap. Whoa, Tristan, look out! The last thing we're going to talk about is Sammy Watkins. Mike, you brought this topic up before the show started. Just before the show started, Sammy Watkins is backing up his quarterback, saying, "I don't need that much money." Essentially, he's saying that he's okay with what he makes. How much money do I need to be happy? Well, tell me, do you feel like the quarterback is in the same category as his wide receiver? How much money does Pat Mahomes need? And if Watkins is going to hang around, how much longer does this mentality work?
I don't know how much longer that's going to work.
Sammy's not going to get the money. Sammy knows he can't get money anywhere else.
But here's what Sammy says exactly. Here's the straight quote from the CBS Sports Instagram page. How much money do I need? My family's taken care of well. Do I want to go to a team and lose and get 1,000 yards, or do I want to come back to KC and try to come fight for another championship?
That's a leader's mentality.
We were talking about either a day ago or 2 days ago. I think it was yesterday, DJ. Do players take a pay cut to go to KC and win a championship?
I think that's good. I think they can do that if all the players do that. But you can't have a dude have $500 million and everybody else says, "No, I'm good with like a nickel and a loaf of bread over here."
It's fine because Sammy Watkins, if he plays like he did in the Super Bowl, he's going to be he could be a number one wide receiver if both Tyreek and Travis Kelce.
Sammy Watkins is going to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying that that might have to be the case, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It wouldn't be the greatest thing in the world. It would definitely be a huge downgrade from Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce being leaders in that for Mahomes to throw to. But when you look at the way Watkins played in that Super Bowl against Richard Sherman, it's not the end of the world for Kansas City. They keep drafting guys like Nico Hardman and signing some of these lower tier guys that fly under the radar and want to take a pay cut.
Michael Page, I think, hit the nail right on the head. He can say that because he's barely a number 3 for the Chiefs. He can say that all he wants because he's not getting paid the money. Like nobody's waving $500 million in his face saying, "Please take it, Sammy Watkins." Like again, he's going to get number 3 money, and he's going to be happy with it.
Yeah, that's all he is.
I'd have to argue against Miko Hardman getting touches before Sammy Watkins, but Edwards-Helaire possibly after his rookie season. Tyreek and Kelce are definitely getting touches before Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Travis Kelce for too much longer in what do they call it, red and gold? It's just not going to happen. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, he'll get paid.
He's going to get paid somewhere.
So then when you what happened with Brady when he lost Gronk? Like that's a weapon. That's a true weapon. Are they going to be able to replace that at tight end? I don't think. They don't grow Travis Kelce's and Gronks on trees. That just doesn't happen. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I just don't think that you can expect someone, and Sammy Watkins, again, can say this because he's not getting $500 million waved in his face. But if you have a legit number one receiver in the NFL and he plays for the Chiefs, you're going to tell me that he's going to put all his money on hold because his quarterback is making $500 million. Like, oh, I'm good passing on this, but you just keep stacking cash, Mr. State Farm. You just keep doing all this while and then it's not like they're getting paid nothing. But reality is it's a competitor's league. And at the end of the day, they want to get paid too because that career is super short and your time and your window is super short. So what are you going to do? Your backup plan is you're either doing training camps or you're doing broadcasting. So you're not going to make $500 million doing either one of those. I can promise you that.
Now what might be the nightmare scenario is the Patriots pick up Travis Kelce. Because who are they paying at the moment?
I don't think you got to worry about
nobody. They're paying nobody at the moment.
You're going to see like the Browns pick him up and
guaranteed for Cam Newton 7.5 with incentives. The Patriots are paying nobody on that team.
Why is everybody still worried about the Patriots? Like they're not going to go get
Cam
Travis
Newton has been
Kelce.
Working.
No. They're not. That's not their MO. Like Travis Kelce doesn't fit what they're trying to do. Cam Newton won't be there in week 6. He's just not going to be there.
I think he's there for the whole season.
I said it here first.
And I think Jarrett Stidham could be the future guy. They have they have too much trust in him for him to bust. Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time. And he's got the faith in Jarrett Stidham. That should say a lot.
Yeah, it's really easy to have faith in him when he's backing up Tom Brady. Like I would have faith in him too. Like really good job holding that clipboard, Jared. We're really proud of you.
I just don't think that it's possible for Stidham to bust as hard as people think he will. He's not going to be a terrible quarterback. Not saying he's going to be some sort of Tom Brady 2.0 for New England. I'm saying he could be a solid quarterback who maybe makes 1 or 2 Pro Bowls.
I'm going to look up right now where Jarrett Stidham went to school because I have
Jarrett Stidham went to Auburn University. Drafted in the 4th round.
Hey, I mean, there's only one way we're going to find out, and that's give Stidham the reins, see what he can do. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think Cam Newton fits New England at all.
Nobody thinks he does yet. I hear people saying all the time that Cam Newton is going to work well with Bill Belichick, and it's all these Patriots fans that think that Cam Newton is going to be the savior of the dynasty. He's not. He's going to be a 1-year bridge quarterback to Jarrett Stidham.
Savior of the dynasty. Help me out here. What why does the dynasty need a savior right now? Like they've missed the championship game for a year. Like this isn't like
1 year. That's it.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that they're looking for a savior of the dynasty right now. I think they're stacking up picks and they're gonna in 5 years they'll be back. How
many did they trade away last year?
I don't know. You're the one that did the draft. You're our resident expert.
Come on, they had 1 second-round pick. They traded away their first rounder to the Chargers when they could have gotten, somebody to help out on that offensive side of the ball. You still had Denzel Mims available at that time, and then they took what's his face out of a D2 college in the 2nd round.
I feel like
the safety.
I'm telling you, the dog actually made that pick. Belichick's dog made that pick.
I feel like Brian Hoyer is going to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots this year. I think that's how it goes down. Because he's been there before.
Really?
He's a steady quarterback. And he's
really?
I do. Okay. I do. Oh. And I think he's going to do an okay job. But
he didn't do an okay job in Indy in place of Jacoby Brissett last year.
That's Indianapolis. Like, what do you want me to say about Indianapolis?
They have a better offensive line than New England.
Yeah, well, Hoyer fits the Tom Brady mold more than any other quarterbacks you've said. Okay. So it'll be interesting.
You are right. You are right about that description of Brian Hoyer.
We're getting a tour of Tristan's house down in the left-hand corner. I don't know if you guys are checking it out. Like you don't even have to go on realty.com. You can just go straight to YSN. Michael Page with the closing comments here. Cam is going to be the man there for at least a year. It's a new NFL. Josh McDaniels will have that offense working just fine. I have my doubts. I can see the point. If Cam returns to form, I still think his leg's jacked up. I still think he's got shoulder issues. And if you're relying on that dude to just throw the ball downfield well, you got some problems. That's why I think Hoyer's going to be the guy after. I'll give him 4 weeks. I'll give Cam 4 weeks before they make the change, like they do with coaches. But we got to wrap this up. Michael and I have to take the old run to Scene Park tonight. We got lots of action for you.
If I have another minute, no, we won't talk about this, but the Ivy League coaches expect the 2020 season to be moved to the spring of 2021. So the expectation is the announcement could be to move it to the spring later today. So just look out for that.
Please, God, no, because I will vomit straight up.
I'm with you.
Jets win the East, says Rick Havrilla. Boys, thanks for it.
Nope.
Jamie saying no chance.
That's the consensus four-person. That is not happening unless we are living in this alternate dimension.
That's going to do it for our show today, guys. Thank you. A special thank you to Bill McCartney for joining us. A special thanks to everybody for tuning in, for the comments. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow from 3 to 4. It is the YSN Power Hour, powered by all those sponsors at the bottom of your screen. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, guys. Later.